How's it going there, everybody? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new One Punch Man chapter discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we're going to be talking about is chapter 118, serialization number 77. Yes, folks, we finally get to see frickin' WatchDog Man versus Garou, the hero hunter. After a whole year has finally passed, so we finally get to see the so prevalent S-class hero, WatchDog Man. And it's so hilarious because WatchDog Man's powers were never actually hinted at until this chapter, folks. And the thing is that WatchDog Man, he definitely is someone scary to look at if Garou actually looks at him as a formidable opponent, folks. Yes. WatchDog Man is definitely an S-class hero. His powers are not to be messed with. His powers is something that the other heroes don't necessarily have because of the fact that WatchDog Man is more animalistic in nature. That's the thing that makes WatchDog Man very interesting, because the fact that his powers necessarily is more like, reminds me of like Kiba from Naruto, where he's on all fours and fights like a beast, literally. Capital L on quotes, literally like a beast, like an animal. Very, very back in the Stone Age type. But it's hilarious because, folks, Garou is more or less to say the fact that he tries to fight people with, I should say, the heroes, and tries to turn their energy back at him, kind of like with his, you know, his water rock smashing fist. He tries to use that technique against to the opponent's advantage, but it just seems that this time, no, Garou lost. Garou freaking lost, folks. I was surprised. I thought he was gonna be on the win streak, but it makes sense why Garou lost too, because of the fact that WatchDog Man is very unpredictable, or if not, he's actually much faster. He's much faster than actual Garou, that he's actually able to anticipate his moves. He's more using an animal instinct to actually maybe notice where Garou is actually landing, because in the chapter, when we see Garou versus WatchDog Man, Garou of course comes out broken, beaten, and scarred and says, yeah, you know, he's someone to look at, you know, ripped clothes, bleeding all over, and uses it more like a stepping tool, saying, okay, now I know I have someone to actually beat, and that is WatchDog Man. WatchDog Man is definitely one, but you guys gotta remember, I'm just wondering, how did WatchDog Man get to be that powerful? What kind of teacher taught him to be that powerful, or at least what causes him to be this type of, you know, behavior? Why is that? Did he grow up with wolves? Did he grow up with, you know, in the valley of some sorts? What is the WatchDog Man's history? But again, we're very just teased into how he fights, but not necessarily into any of his backstory. That makes more like, you know, like saying, like, you know, we want to see more of WatchDog Man. And WatchDog Man, of course, you know, with his speed and I wouldn't say intellect, it's because, like I said, he's very hard to actually pinpoint because of the fact that he has a very expressionless face, so it kind of makes us wonder, like, what is he always thinking? But what made me laugh is the comic relief part with Garou versus WatchDog Man, is that every time Garou was trying to like jab at him, WatchDog Man literally would always put his paw on him, saying like, oh, he wants to pet hands. Every time Garou would actually try to stab him or punch him, like, he would put his paws on him, like, as if saying, like, you know, he's toying with him. WatchDog Man was literally toying with him, and it makes sense that, like I said, WatchDog Man is definitely like someone to look out for. If he was just playing with Garou, like, holy cow. And Garou kind of noticed something that what was WatchDog Man's weakness, and that is he does not leave the city. He's always near this certain place, like a watchdog, like a Cerberus, you know, like a somewhat protector of hell itself. You know, that's what I kind of see WatchDog as. Maybe that will be his weakness in terms of how Garou will defeat WatchDog Man, because that is a very prominent weakness right there. If he does not leave a certain city and fights, maybe that's why WatchDog Man was not in the in the later series in the webcomic, if I remember correct. It's been a while, but maybe that's why he wasn't really there, because of the fact that, you know, he doesn't leave the city. He's always protecting somewhere else. Very interesting to look at, folks. Very interesting. But like I said though, but that was only half the chapter, folks, or not even half. It was like maybe 1/3 of it, because the rest of the chapter involved with Saitama actually talking with King, and this kind of dialogue between these two was interesting because Saitama was once again brought to terms as to why he hates being the #1 strongest hero. Not the best, that's how King said it. He is not the best hero, but he certainly is the strongest. And King, I like how King actually tried cheering Saitama many times. King is more of a supporting character, but his support is exceptionally strong that towards Saitama that he was able to lift his spirits up. Something that Saitama and all the other heroes can't do. Genos can't even lift Saitama's spirit up. It just seems that King really is on par with Saitama himself, but maybe because they're both bored with life. They just want to do whatever they want to do. And like I said, Saitama is so bored with life. He's so strong that he doesn't really seek enjoyment anymore. That he just wants to seek that fulfillment in life. He wants that tension. He wants that stress, but he can't accomplish that without somebody there to actually give him that. And of course, you know, all the other characters can't give him that because they necessarily either give up or just aren't as strong or capable with the willpower they have in order to be around Saitama. And it's hilarious because King, of course, will always be Saitama in the game, and maybe that's the only way Saitama can really get a thrill is through a video game fight, because he is not very talented at video games, but King is, which makes it very hilarious. Like I said, it's a very comic relief part between these two characters, but at the same time, it's very passionate because of the fact that the friendship they're kindled right there makes it more worthwhile as to seeing as how these characters interact. And King himself also notice that Saitama is in a dire situation. He's trying, you know, he's trying his best, but I mean, come on, there's nothing that King can do. And it's funny because King even stated, you know, what Saitama really needs is it's really a female. And it's funny because Saitama quickly denied that. And I thought to myself, why would you pass up a female? Like what, Saitama? I'm questioning you now, man. I'm questioning you. Nah, I'm kidding, but no joke. Like I thought it was more like maybe Saitama wasn't necessarily looking for that type of thrill. He was seeking something else, something more fulfillment in life, because he doesn't really want to be lecherous and just out there just lollygagging. He kind of said he wants something meaningful. That's what Saitama wants, instead of just like what King was saying, just, you know, just have that quick fun, which I thought was very hilarious too. Like I said, their interaction is very hilarious, but at the same time, it makes sense. It literally felt like two very close friends just interacting with each other. But I would say that's it for today's chapter, folks. Like I said, just those two interacting make it very worthwhile. With then Garou coming in, trying to attack King, but of course Saitama intervenes and kicks him again. It just seems that Garou and Saitama are constantly meeting, but Garou doesn't really know who Saitama is, which makes it more worthwhile. By the time that Garou versus Saitama will fight, he will know it's like, oh my god, it's you. You're the one that's always been beating me. I could never. Like I said, it would make their situation become very, very fulfilling by the time that Garou and them meet for an actual climactic fight. Very interesting. But like I said, that's it for today's chapter, folks. Let me know down in the comments below as to what are you guys' thoughts on the chapter itself. Chapter 118. Loved about everything about WatchDog, man. Loved it. Just hoping that they give more on his backstory as to how he became that strong. That's what I'm hoping for. But like I said, let me know down in the comments. And as always, guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out.